Hi, and welcome to Busy Thoughts. Today is our first episode. I am still trying to figure out a recording place for myself, but for now, I think this is kind of okay. So, Busy Thoughts, place where I speak my heart out, unscripted, just blabbering. I usually am like this with a few friends of mine, and today, from today, I will be talking the same way in this podcast, letting myself express what I feel, my emotions, my thoughts, however it is, just say it forward, and it's few tricks that I use that help me, remain in a very peaceful way. Um, so for so for the first episode, since I'm in this long journey, I got a suggestion that the best way to start is talk about how I became what I become today, or have become today. And there's a journey. People who have known me for like around 5 or odd years have seen that drastic change. I was this angry young man, sensitive, hyper energetic. To today, I'm a bit more calmer guy uh, than I was. So people have seen that drastic change, and what happened, why this happened. Some were scared that I would turn out something else, and some were happy. So today I'm going to speak about that journey that took place, that I decided to take, which has brought me to where I am today. So can't say the whole story, but I'll start from where the actual trigger happened. So around, I would say 8.5 years, I just started my career. It's about almost 9 years actually. Um, I started my career in ITC. So I'm a BSc graduate. So um, I was I was working as a developer, a coder, programmer, the same as an engineer graduate level. But unfortunately, I was placed 3 grades lower than the engineers, and pay scale was low, and everything was there. So I it hit my ego very hard. So I decided that I will prove that I am better. I can be better than that. And my manager challenged me, and I took it. And I worked so hard for the initial years that it worked out for me. I got back to back promotion, then I was doing good in my career. In the second year, I started dancing on the stage, and that clicked off very well too. I got a bit of fame, people started noticing me, I got a lot of attention. Few girls also were behind me. So I had hair at that point, so pretty long hair, and I used to literally feel like a hero, and everybody used to make me feel like a hero. All that attention made me feel like a hero. So I felt like this is going on great. I got everything that I ever wanted, or more than I ever wanted. Um, so that was going good. Uh, Certainly, after a few years, something happened which put me in a tough spot, a bad spot actually. So um, my energy went down. I was very irritated, agitated, sad also. Um, but how it started affecting me is um, once in a month initially, once or twice in a month, I used to feel really low for no reason, and feel terrible about myself. And I used to start feeling like I'm a villain, and a very negative picture of myself. Uh, though I was still dancing, though my work also was going good, but that feeling was very bad. Initially, it was for once in a month, but slowly it started increasing. So, and I would never know when it would happen. I initially thought it is some chemical reaction that is going on in me, and kind of like mood swings. Uh, so I was not really sure. I didn't take it that seriously initially. I thought it's just that something's going on. So it was there. It was there once in a while. Then what happened was a few years later, my grandmother passed away. I was very close to her. I was in Mangalore for 4 years, and she helped me during that phase. Um, so she passed away, and I was having signs of hair fall at that point in time, but it was not that noticeable unless somebody really noticed it. So I decided that I will shave my head and see how I would look when I go bald. So I did that. For the first few days, I was cool. I felt I was looking cool and all of that. But then after that, I just could not see myself in the mirror. I hated myself. I felt even more ashamed of myself, devastated. I felt like I am no more the hero and my identity is lost. I felt I looked disgusting. It tripped me off and put me off in a worse place, even more. Um, because there was no confidence. Yes, there are friends. There are friends who are continuously telling me for my betterment that it's not that important. It's there. But during that time is what I understood that obviously your close people give you advices, but it doesn't work. An advice doesn't help you at all. Yes, they are telling you with all the good intention, but that advice doesn't help you at all. At that point, you feel nobody understands you. Nobody will understand what you are going through. That pain you're going through. I was in a it for my that situation went a bit more worse because I used to not sleep at nights. I used to cry under my blanket, and I didn't know the reason. It was very very painful. And the worst part is I could not express to anybody, especially in my family side. I could not express because if I showed my weakness, it would make my family a bit more weak, and I didn't want that. And so I felt I have to hold it to myself. I have to literally hold it to myself. So I used to hold it myself. The only place where I could express myself was work because I felt I was good at it. So I started extending my work hours to 20, 22 hours and averaging 18 hours a day, 18 hours a day, 18 hours. And so I kind of felt relieved, but when I came home, I used to be devastated. So that was going on. Dance was hardly once or twice a year because of some competition in the office. So I used to put myself in that situation. So this was going on quite some time. There was even a point where I was part of Toastmasters. I joined in Toastmasters at that time, and there was a humorous speech competition. I had no plan of joining it. For some reason, some friend of mine gave me an idea that why don't you make use of your balance? It might help you. I think just 1 hour before the competition, I decided to put my name there, came up with a script, and I made utter fun of myself. And the first time, I was initially nervous because I never did this kind of stand-up comic thing. I was very nervous. I was not sure how it would be taken, but the first laugh I got, I knew it was going to kick in, and I love the stage and I speak. When that happened, I just full confidently made utter fun of myself, and people laughed. At that point, I felt good. I thought at that point maybe because I expressed my issues out, it felt better. But today, when I think about it, the thing that actually made me feel better at that point was the people's laughter. It made me feel that I got the attention back. Um, I was able to entertain people, and even with being bald, I was able to entertain people. But then, though it helped me a bit on releasing that side of it outside, but still, I didn't allow anybody else to make fun of me other than myself. Only I could make a joke of myself, and anybody else makes would tip me off. So that was a terrible phase where that happened. So I was going through a lot during that time. It was very, very difficult to talk to anybody about it. Uh, but yes, a couple of my close friends saw me being different in my actions, and they made me sit and talk about it. Yes, when I talked to them, it felt good. It felt good that somebody is noticing me. You know, somebody is paying attention to what I do, and trying to know me. And it felt better talking to them. I wouldn't deny that. It felt really better talking to them. And but still, that pain never went away. So there was this conflict going on at that time. Ki there's one small part in me who was saying, "Don't give up on yourself. Let's try something out." So I used to try looking for solutions out of this motivational videos. Problem with motivational videos at that time with me was I would see a 2 minute motivational video, feel good about it, and the next after 5 minutes I'm out of it. So they never inspired me so much, but they did give me a motivational factor to it. Then came one day where it kind of changed. One day, a friend of mine messaged me saying that an old college friend of ours, I was not in contact with her after I left college, had passed away. Um, that shook me. I was blank. One entire day, I didn't talk to most people. I was just doing my work, and I was shocked for the entire next day. She was of my age. I was 27 when she was 27. She had cancer. She had underwent a surgery for the cancer. It was successful, but she couldn't survive the surgery. Her organs didn't reciprocate well, and she passed away. That that really hit me hard. The list of things that came to my mind at that point in time, where it could be me, that someday I might die. And who would it impact the most? Obviously, family and close friends. Do I want to die like that? Do I want that to happen? It shook me. It shook me so much that I slowly realized that I was actually killing myself by being, criticizing about myself, and I was this sadness inside me was killing me, and it was like me taking a knife and stabbing myself over and over again, and I was bound to die someday because I was killing myself. That thought entered, and that fear brought in a lot of change. And it is after a day I decided that I have to help myself. I have to figure something out somehow, some way. I need to help myself. So I increased the number, looking into number of motivational videos even more. I was following Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins at that point, and I increased my frequency so that my motivation stays for longer. It didn't help me much, but it kept me going, saying that no, I can figure something out. Um, that was going on. So I used to listen to podcasts. I used to listen to different videos while I was driving back home, or I was going to office. So one night when I was actually bored of a podcast and videos, and I switched on to radio. Um, at that time, Indigo had a show called as Mindfit, run by this Mindfit is nothing but cults. At that point, a radio show where Dr. Shambhat was the host, and it was very fascinating to see that he used to talk to people and ask certain questions and how it would help them figure something out. And it was very fascinating for me, very, very fascinating. And during that show, he spoke about meditation and how it helps anybody. And he spoke about the meditation app, how MindFit has an app which has free meditations. And I really wanted to try it. Obviously, I procrastinated it for quite a long time, and one day I gave it a shot. It was just 5 minutes. It was just 5 minutes. And that changed me. It was just 5 minutes, but after that 5 minutes, there is this feeling of utter calmness. It's you're still and you're peaceful just by focusing on your breath for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. And that feeling I can never explain. My whole life, if anybody, most of my life, when somebody asked me what do you want in life, I was saying I wanted happiness. And that for the first time, I felt that actual feeling of happiness within you without even doing anything, without even trying anything, but just being inside you. And that's how meditation changed my life, upside down. And the fun fact, the way Shamba talks and guides you in that, in the end of that meditation, he says, if you are experiencing something calm and peaceful, that is you. and that stayed with me till date. So I started meditation every day. I felt like an addiction. I started doing it every day, and I slowly, slowly and steadily, I started experiencing that peaceful nature of me, and I realized that that nature is actually me. That is who I am, and I have been searching everywhere else, whereas it is just inside me. That kind of brought in a shift in my thought process. Suddenly I had a thirst for knowledge, saying that I need to know more about such things. I need to know different perspectives. So I started reading books. I never read books so much. I started The Secret. I started reading most and more. My friend Monica gave me that book, Most and More, and uh, that was way later. But The Secret, I read a lot of things, and then I decided I'm learning stuff I need to share with people, and that's when I started the vlog video at that point in time. So it brought in a lot of positivity in me. I saw how I can help myself. Then anybody, nobody can actually help you, but advise you. But helping only you can do to yourself is that's the point I realized. So I was doing meditation for some time at that time. Uh, my friends slowly started seeing that positivity, especially my friend Shama saw that, and because I started making videos, people felt that I can be a impact. The idea was that time was to become a motivational speaker. Today I just want to be a speaker. Um, so with that idea, my friend Shama gave me an idea where one of her cousins did a counseling course, and at that time I had finished my MTech, so I was free a bit on weekends. I decided why not. So on my birthday, I went and registered for the counseling course, and I got enrolled for it. My second phase of transformation happened in that counseling class. The idea with which I went to the counseling class was let me learn some skills with which I can help others. But I learned so much about myself, I learned myself from scratch and discovered such amazing facts about myself at it changed me. It was a class of all age groups, and people had so many experiences to share, different issues which everybody is facing. And then I still remember the first thing I was told by my teacher in the counseling classes: when you enter this class, remove the bracket of right and wrong, good and bad. You are not bound by it. Here you are just yourself. You're not attached to the world. From that day and the list of things that I learned in counseling for those 6 months, just from the classes, talking to people, the friends I made, the long conversations we had, I can never forget it. I can never forget it. Um, there are so many things I learned, and two things that I learned. The biggest one is one, that we think about the right and wrong and judge ourselves so much that we have grown over the period of time saying that this is right and this is wrong, and we ourselves judge ourselves so much. And when the day we break that down and look at ourselves as we are, there is a sense of relief. There is a sense of, just being yourself, and the freedom, the actual freedom that we all are searching for, that is there. And I felt that. And that's when I decided, and that's when I started the process of looking at myself without the bracket of right and wrong and from a perspective. Because right and wrong is a perspective. Anything that is appropriate to you is right to you, and is wrong to you is wrong to you. It's different for me, different for you. So anything that is appropriate, obviously. But I figured that I don't want to define my right and wrong based on what I've learned, but rather than what I experience and what I feel, and how I feel that would help me. So that changed, that paradigm shift happened. And the second most important thing that I learned, and I still tell a lot of people if I get to counsel somebody, is whenever something happens to our friend, we come up with the best advices. We come up with the best solutions for them. We motivate them. We are totally positive. But when the same thing happens to us, we never do that. We never try to be our own friend. Biggest lesson learned. Because if you really think, imagine you're going through something very heavy, and if something it's the same thing that's happening to your friend, think of the things that you would tell to your friend, right? And when it comes to you would be criticizing, most of us would be heavily criticizing ourselves. So the second most important lesson I learned at that time is be your own friend. That'll like sort most of your issues. So I learned a lot of things. I learned how to talk to myself, how to place, and the most important skill that I learned is questioning. I think questioning helps me a lot. I still use it till date whenever I feel I am off balance and I don't know what I'm doing. Asking the right questions enables you to find some answers about yourselves. The point is, most of us don't ask the right questions, and we are just running in that loop all over again. Why? And we don't think about our feelings and our thoughts, and we don't place so much importance. It's lost. So if we ask ourselves the right questions, or anybody the right questions, you come up with interesting answers. First thing is you have to accept them. You should not judge yourself for the answers that you get. Let's say there's something that you like, something, but you feel morally, ethically it is wrong because it feels so, and you don't accept that answer. You feel that's a bad person. But you should understand that morality, ethics are something that a group of people who had common ideologies, had common thoughts, made it together and became moral and ethics and stuff. So we've forgotten to know ourselves. Obviously, there is something, but I would rather say create your own morals and ethics based on your experiences and your values. So coming back, so I learned a lot of things in counseling. So I rediscovered myself, not rediscovered, I discovered a whole new myself in that process, and I met amazing people. And the best thing that happened to me is, as I was going through this, I noticed that I started meeting people who were resonating with the same frequency. Uh, People who were of, let's say, of a different kind of an impact or a lesser impact in my life started, slowly they moved away. I never put anybody away. But I met a lot of people who had the same frequency, who were more of a good vibe energy to me. And they were also telling me that no, I have changed. And I started meeting such people. So that process was going on. So when um, counseling brought in a lot of shift, and I decided that I will use that skill only to help people and myself and help me discover my journey and learn this knowledge of psychology a lot more. So I was continuing to watch videos and trying to learn different things. In this process, I came across Sadhguru's videos. Now, initially, I didn't like the guy because I felt that he was just making something up. And one of the videos he says, "Don't believe me until unless you try it yourself." So, any video that I got initially, I felt, let's do it. I don't think it's going to work. So, let's do it. Most of the time, it worked. Most of the time, it's made logical sense. I was at a psychological process, so that becomes your thoughts and thinking. I just shifted, I came out of that and I started looking at it as life. Uh, so there was a balance of understanding psychology and understanding a bit of spirituality or life as it is. I won't use spirituality, the word, um, as life as it is, you know. And every time I tried to question and test Sadhguru's ideas, I failed most of the time because it seems much more true. So in this process, a lot of people were talking about Shambhavi Mahamudra, the great meditation, which does a lot of things. And I said, let me try. And I tried. It didn't have such a huge impact, but I did see a certain impact where for me, I understood that my senses were a bit higher. My mindfulness was a bit higher. But then again, it was not only about learning his inner engineering, but I think the whole process of when I listened to his talks, read some of his quotes, I don't believe in most of all of them, but most of them make sense. And I feel most of them, if you really sit down and think about it to the finer details of simplicity, you feel it is true. Only thing is, we have been using our head so much and thinking so much that we've gone escalated to different levels, but we've forgotten the base level. A simple thing that we are life, and how our thoughts have managed to slave us, and we're just doing what it wants us to do. So in that process, I learned that side of it. So this balance of psychology and learning life gave me a lot of different perspectives, and I'm looking at it in a very, very different way. And I changed the process. I changed my lifestyle. Actually, I think it's going to be a year. I quit pizza, burger, tea, and that's the reason I've lost so much of weight, which people are worried about. I'm not. I actually feel the most energetic. I'm going to be 30 this year. I still feel the most energetic in my entire life than I've been. I know I can dance at the utmost energy today if I do. I feel a lot happier. I feel super energetic, and I have conversations with a couple of people. I've become a better listener. I I think the fact of not judging anybody and all these things that I learned, all these things that brought me till today. And today I'm very happy where I am, touch wood, because it is not that I don't get angry today. I get angry, I get upset, I cry, uh, but I don't stop myself. I let myself feel what I feel and express myself, be it. And then after a few minutes, then I use my mindfulness and say, okay, what is it? What am I looking for? What am I searching for? You know, because if today and I sit and think whatever I said you right now, I was looking for that attention. I was looking for somebody to look after me and give me that attention. And today I just give myself that right attention of accepting and feelings and thoughts and letting me be me, not like be somebody else that I want to be. Even today, though, I gracefully embrace my baldness. I'm not at all scared. I really don't care of the looks. I know it matters to a representable matter when you are a product and it becomes a branding. And I have accepted myself, and that's the best part. And that's why I'm happy, and that's why I am here where I am. And that's why I've met some positive people in my life. That's why I'm able to do things what I'm able to do things today, and I'm very, very happy about it. I think that always comes from self acceptance. So here is what I am, what I have become, through all of that, through that journey. And one of the biggest lessons is everything and every person that you meet in your life teaches you something. And every person in my life is a celebrity for me. I call them celebrities of my life, because they have had huge impacts. Um, so everybody teaches you something. Everybody takes it something, but it's you who has to help yourself. So I did that, and that's why I am here. And in this lockdown, I had stopped cult fit meditation for some time, but I got back to it, and I feel great again. So I do things which I know is going to give the best positive energy out of me. Keep me cool, keep me happy, be grateful every day for every day I get, opportunity for what I am, opportunity to be myself, all of that. So that's what it is. Um, so that's the end of the first episode, a long talk I had. I hope this helps you. I hope you like it. I hope you do a bit of introspection. But I'll come back soon with the next episode. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to today's episode. You can share your thoughts or questions in comment section in YouTube, or you can message me in Anchor or DM me in Instagram. See you soon in the next episode.